everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, June 14, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Everything is either a misguided projection or highly creative interpretation, or a decorated perception of perfection forming in your brain. Meditating on this one simple truth will liberate you from many years of suffering. Everything is perfect as it is. All imperfections you see are imaginary. It can dwell on, if you can dwell on this concept and hold on to it for even a few minutes, you'll notice that you'll start to feel lighter, have more inner clarity, and a sense of spiritual freedom throughout your day. You want to make sure you're in a comfortable position, no outside distractions, relaxed into your body, still as a statue, and focused on your breath rising and falling. Now, abiding in this understanding, this comprehension, opens up 1,001 doorways to the divine. You will automatically begin living a life that is empowered, awakened, and feels more harmonious. You can liberate yourself from 99% of your daily suffering just by respecting this one simple truth. So, it's a good idea to get curious about it and to understand its deeper meaning. Explore the feeling how everything actually is always perfect in this universe, exactly as it is. The longer you can feel into this experience and assimilate it into your body, the more blissed out you'll feel every day along the way. It's a good thing to know that as you enlighten yourself, you are also helping to enlighten everyone else on this planet. Realization is nothing new to be acquired. It is already there, but obstructed by a screen of thoughts. All our attempts are directed to lifting this screen, and then realization is revealed. Ramon Morishi. A lot of us get caught in the outer world. We're pretty much controlled by the outer world. No matter what is happening in your outer world, in your relationships, in the internet, in your family, at work, etc., realize that everything around you is happening for one very specific reason: to awaken you to your spiritual nature, the God that you are. This means opening you, healing you, making you more conscious, alive, and available to the living flow of energy that is perpetually moving through you. Everything in this universe is happening for you, not to you. Have you ever caught yourself, or listen to anybody else that says, why does this always happen to me? To me, right? And it's actually happening for you. Because we're all here to wake up and remember that who we truly are is an infinite spiritual being, having an occasional limited time-bound experience of being human. When we discover our spiritual foundation, the experience that we are all-powerful, super-manifesting beings becomes evident and obvious. This universe blasts synchronicities at us, unveiling the truth that we are all one unified being connected to the same cosmic source. Our mission here is to believe this, and knowing this truth allows us to know ourselves as divine. Now, who each one of us are, it is not just human. You have the God-given manifesting power within you to create, attract, and magnetize anything you can dream of. Manifesting is your basic nature. Notice whatever you place your focus or attention upon is what you manifest into your life. If you focus on thoughts that make you happy, empowered, abundant, and free, you will attract more people and situations that mirror those positive, joyful experiences back to you. We truly are much more powerful than the mind can comprehend. We are such powerful beings that there is nothing we cannot manifest into this physical dimension. The mind is too small, too limited, too conceptual, and too narrow-minded to digest the immensity of who we are. Only the heart is big enough to tap into the immensity of our being, and still it will fall short. Our spiritual essence is without borders in time, space, or energy. We are timeless, metaphysical. Okay? You don't know what meta means? Meta is beyond physical. Meta means beyond. We are timeless, metaphysical magicians sailing through an eternal ocean of time and energy. We are one with the infinity. This meeting is the unveiling of our true spiritual essence. And by taking responsibility for this meeting inside, our real power begins to emerge in our lives. We naturally begin attracting and creating everything our heart was dreaming about. And as we find out that there is an unlimited source of energy, creativity, love, lightness, and compassion inside, we immediately start experiencing how truly enjoyable this life actually is. This makes it so much easier to surrender to the magical manifesting mindset. We see our real mission here is to be stress-free, to deeply fall in love with our lives, and to trust this world so deeply that we truly let go of all of our fears. And with nothing to fear, we become a brilliant light for everyone on this earth to enjoy. Even though some people in this society may be completely unable to relax and trust life, do not be offended by them. They are deeply unaware of their infinite spiritual nature, and they need you to help them find it again. Most people live in some energetic poverty because they are simply stuck in their minds, afraid of being responsible for the immensity of their life. This spiritual connection is so huge that they would rather keep safe holding on to their limited excuses of what they cannot do instead of facing the fact that they are actually creating everything in their lives. The spiritually awake being is the guiding light here to show others how to see their way through the dark. When one's own true nature is known, then there is being without beginning and end. It is unbroken awareness and bliss, Ramana Maharishi. Now, once you are aware of your unlimited spiritual nature. It's not your job to push this idea on anyone. They may not be ripe or ready to receive it quite yet. Humans have been asleep to this understanding for so many centuries that each being needs something karmically specific to them, something quite radical and monumental to shake them from this ancient deep slumber. The time will come when everyone's soul will awaken to this understanding. Everything always happens at the perfect time. So do not start bothering others about waking up. Just be responsible for opening up deeper into your spiritual connection. Be silent, conscious, and loving with others. Do what inspires you every day. Focus on how you can step more fully into this manifesting mindset in your community. Take on this spiritual responsibility just for you. And no matter what happens in your life, it's good to know that a great conscious universal source is always on your side. And what I mean by this is that all your judgmental, painful, and emotionally challenging experiences that you're having are the fertilizer for your soul's growth. Each challenge pushes you deeper inside yourself so you develop the gift to overcome it. Your problems stretch you, expand your boundaries of who you think you are, so that you dive deeper inside more than ever before. Whenever something of this world frightens you, instantly trust this experience as a gift from grace to help step up your vibration and consciousness. Use everything to help you awake, to help you wake up and realize this exciting divine truth now, today. Since everyone is one's own self, whoever does whatever to whomever is doing it only to himself. Ramana Maharishi. It is a proven fact, even though we will ignore it, even though we will deny it, even though we'll say, oh, it's a bunch of poppycock, that when we do to others, we do to ourselves. It's not just a saying. It is an absolute exact fact. Now, it may not happen or come the way you did to others. It may be totally different. It may not be immediate, but it comes. And it never fails to come. So when someone does you wrong, okay, or, you get burned somehow, financially, emotionally, whatever, and it's not like, oh, revenge is coming, you got to get revenge on them. You just know. Because we're all reflections of each other. We're all facets of one another. And for many, that's really difficult to comprehend, of course, because they're using the mind. And as I said, the heart is large enough to comprehend it, but only to a certain extent. Because we are so massive and so huge that what's the only thing that can comprehend? The pure consciousness, the collective consciousness of what and who and what we are. The God. So it's like, no matter what happens in our lives, it's good to know that a great conscious universal source is always on our side. Lastly, as we wake up, we realize that we are all so deeply interconnected to one another. There truly is no separation from me and you, just limiting ideas in the mind come between us. There is just pure energy and consciousness that pervades everything and everyone. And when enough of us, enough people realize this experience of oneness, we will all start living from our most enlightened state of being. This is when we will all manifest true, authentic world peace. All it takes is 1 out of 8 people on earth have found spiritual inner peace within themselves right now. This will start a trend that will take over the rest of the population. It is just a matter of time before we are all living in a higher consciousness. See, that's it right there. It's the people to realize this. Visualize this for this world. Everyone is relaxing, shifting into a more trusting, open, receptive, peaceful, caring, and joyful way of being in their communities. Our thoughts are very powerful. And when we focus them in great numbers in a certain direction, miraculous manifestations begin to occur. And when enough people are seeing this for our future, it will exponentially spread like a wave throughout the minds and hearts of billions more. And one day, we will reach a time when this huge enlightening shift will move through every heart, mind, and soul on our planet. This is the Great Awakening. There are far better things ahead than any we have left behind, C.S. Lewis. So you see, it's like it is a little, I guess you could say perplexing or, frustrating for some, that the question always surfaces, and, well then, why is it that so many of us aren't there, okay? Why is it that way? Well, if you look at all of the training that we have received, from babies to now, and it continues. It doesn't end. Okay, that's over. It just continues. So now we think it doesn't, right? Because we're adults, right? And we live to be a certain age, whatever, in these bodies. But the programming continues. It never ends. It's like molding a piece of clay, right? You mold it into a certain shape, and there it is, and then it's fixed. All right, dries, and then you whatever you do, you kiln it, and you turn it into whatever the art is that you wanted to display. Now, you're not going to be able to go back in there and then, just take that image and then reshape it, because of the fact that it's all gone through the process. It's similar to the majority of us on this planet have been taught all the wrong things. We've just been taught, we've been told a lot of things that aren't truthful. Okay? And we don't know that. How the heck are we supposed to know that? We think they're true and right, and so that's what we follow. That's our formula. Each of us have certain formulas that we follow in this life. And for the most part, it's not, for the most part, it's not caustic. And then we experience it, and then we leave the body. But imagine that you begin to discover who and what you are, that you are an omnipotently powerful, supreme manifesting abundant being that never dies. And you're in this body, this physical form that's really great because you can experience so many things. It's never ending, And so you're in a state of ecstasy by being in the body. And then you realize that you are not the body, you're the God. You're the pure consciousness. You're the center of creation. You are a master manifester. Creator. You have everything that you will ever need on this endless journey in the material physical life to manifest anything you choose. But then you see all these people say, well, that's a bunch of poppycock. That's crazy. Tried that stuff for years. Doesn't work. No, the reason it is because you do it from the ego mind. And you negate it almost as quickly as you send it. Because you doubt. As soon as you start doubting, it's all over. Even a smidgen, even a tiny tad, even a little grain of sand doubt, it's over. Doesn't happen. Why? Well, this is why people suffer. You get your heart set on something, right? We've all done this, cripe. We've done it since kids. And we don't necessarily have to tell anybody about it, right? But we're counting on it. We're counting on it, and we really, it's our heart's desire. And it doesn't happen. And we're, really let down. Really upset about it. Can't figure it out. And then we say, oh, it must be me. It must be. This is where we always go. We always go on ourselves and say, well, I must have messed up somewhere, boy, I'll tell you, I'm not great at all, I'm not good, I'm not great at all, I'm bad, I really screwed this up, blah, 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 blah. Instead of recognizing the fact, there's a little twist there, and you say, it's the ego mind. I was in the ego mind, and this is why it didn't manifest. I comprehend that. So what do? Well, in these meditations is where you manifest. You manifest in the meditations. That's it. You stay in, there's like, it's a recipe, it's a formula. You stay in deep gratitude 24/7. You're always reminding yourself of what you're grateful for, no matter what it may be. You're grateful for the hangnail so that you ended up doing a manicure, whatever. So you're in a state of gratitude. You're in a state of reverence for yourself. You're gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. It doesn't matter what happens out there. See, it really doesn't. We're creatures of habit while in these bodies. We all know that. We get into certain things and we stay with it. Why? Well, because we get comfortable with it and it isn't jagged for us. It's smooth and it's easy and we just embrace it and that's it, period. This is why you'll see many of us really live in one place our whole lives. Never really go anywhere. Oh, the grocery store, the movie theater, something like that, restaurant. But within that area, we just stay there. Have you ever met anybody that says, you're in a place, maybe you've never been there before, and you have a conversation, and one of the locals says, you say, well, how long have you been here? And they say, oh, I've been here my whole life. And it's not a big metropolitan area. It's kind of like, your regular American town. And you go your whole life. And let's say you came from a city, pretty good sized city. And they go, oh yeah, it's wonderful. I went to school here. I go to the candy shop I still go to. It's right down the street. Mr. Johnson owns it, now his son owns it. Mr. Johnson got too old. And, you know everything and just about everybody that comes in. And so when a stranger comes in, you just kind of these people will open up to you. They'll just tell you all kinds of stuff. It's fascinating. And, at one time in our country, most of us lived in those towns. We really did. We lived in those towns. We experienced a lot of things in those towns. And see, I appreciate that because I came from a different angle. I came from a gypsy type of life, where from the point I was, when the baby body was born, every couple of years we would pack up and leave. We wouldn't know when. It could be in the middle of, you could have like 4 or 5 friends. You go, wow, I've got 4 or 5 friends. And then you have to leave. And you never see them again. And you do this every couple of years. And I did that for years. So I learned how to play by myself, which was great. You know what I mean? You play by yourself like you did as a kid. And you have a great time, right? You just enjoy yourself. You don't have any complaints. You're not upset about anything. You don't feel lonely. It's just fun, and you create this kind of a world for yourself, and you reflect on it as the body ages. Now, a lot of us, we stay put. We stay in a certain area. I myself, I traveled all over the planet, all over the place. Experienced cuisines and foods that you probably would go, I'm not going to eat that. No, thank you. Or something's too seasoned and too salty and this and that. I remember in France, I was visiting the, oh goodness, it's amazing how things just fade out. I was a famous former artist who had passed, estate, and there was a hotel down the mountain. Picasso. It was Picasso's home, and a group of people bought it and were refurbishing it. And I stayed in this hotel, and I'll never forget it. So you ever done that where you experience something, you just don't forget it. It just sticks with you. And it was around Nice, France. They didn't have any, like American restaurants, you could order like a really nice tenderloin or, something like that, or a chicken. But all they had was rabbit. Okay? And of course, rabbit's good. It's prepared correctly. And in France, they do a lot of rabbit. And so, the server comes in and lays it down. And I took a bite of the rabbit. And for me, okay, it was so salty that I almost coughed. The salt content in it was just really heavy duty. Now, to them, it was probably really good. I don't know. But I told the server, I said, I can't eat this. This is way too salty. And so he took it, and I don't know what he did, but he took it, and then he brings it back, and he says, try now. And so I tried it now. It was great. Tasted great. So I don't know what he did. I have no idea. But the point is that we experience certain things, and it's not like we're manifesting them, so to speak. They just happen as an experience. All right? And it's just like going to an American town, and you're talking with the people there, the locals that have been there forever, and they tell you stories, for generations. And you're kind of sitting there going, wow, this is really different. Someone would say they get really bored there because to the people there, it's great. But to the people that visit, it's not so great. They go, I couldn't live here because it did drive me crazy. There's really, there's 2 restaurants and a grocery store and this and that, and that's it, period. There really isn't anything else. And we're used to convenience as a people, all right? We're used to being able to just hop in a car or even walk down the street, go to the grocery store, do this, do that. And we take a lot of things for granted because we're used to it. We get acclimated and we take it for granted. But have you ever experienced, I think we all have experienced this, is that you have something handy for you. It's convenient. And then it's gone. And you never noticed it, or you were never grateful for it while it was there until it's gone, and then you go, man, I can't believe how much I miss that. I didn't realize how much I relied on it. You ever done that? Doesn't have to be anything big. It could be a spoon of some kind, you know. But it's a checkup for us from the universe saying it's to stay in gratitude all the time. And then one might say, how the heck do you stay in gratitude all the time? How the heck, do you go within and stay in the now and, all these mantras and all this stuff every morning? I'd never get anything done. That's the ego mind talking. Right there. That's the ego mind talking. Okay? And one of the best habits you could ever do is to stay in deep gratitude and to stay in the now. And you practice it. It's not like, you're in competition. You just practice it. And slowly but surely, your perspective shifts. It's different. You look at things differently. What would happen if you had no eyes? You had eyes and then you didn't. Well, at least you saw for a period of time. Right? So you know what it is. And so you can see again, but not with your eyes. Or you had legs and you ran and you did this and you did that, and the next thing you know, you don't have any legs. But you had the legs. And the memory is always there. And so you have legs through your heart. So we do these certain things and we don't realize just how powerful we are. And that's what we're here to discover. To discover just how powerful we truly are while we're in these bodies. That's what this is about. We didn't come here. You could ask yourself this in the quiet time of this meditation, is that you could say, did I come here to suffer? To be disappointed at times and to get upset at times and to get let down at times and not have what you want. Okay? This is a lot of people on the planet. They just don't have what they want. And they're not happy about it. Whether they're consciously aware or unconsciously aware. And you can be unconsciously aware, which means that you're not consciously aware, which means that you're not conscious in that moment. So, but it's a big, huge discovery. Everything that is inside this body, so to speak. Well, it's a pure consciousness of God that's transforming this planet into a God planet paradise. And more of us are going within. We're choosing to go within. It's not some cliche or social norm. It's because we've decided to go within and discover our spirituality, what we are, who we are, and we know that we're not the body. We know we don't die, okay? We don't die. We look at the body and we say, well, that's death. The body ceases. You know why the body ceases? I'll give you an example. You can look at the human body when the God's in it. And it gives off a light. Okay? People say an aura. You want to call it that. But it gives off an energetic golden light. And sometimes it's multicolored. And you can see the almost like, it's kind of like a fairy dust, a spark. And you know how things kind of float in the air above? Well, this happens in the body. This will happen continually until the God leaves the body. And then that light's gone. So it isn't the body emitting the light, it is the God within the body emitting the light. And so we discover these things. And we know we're not the body. The body is the vessel that we maneuver in. We inherit all kinds of things. We inherit an ego mind. We inherit a heart mind, all this stuff. And we have no reference. So that's about the biggest challenge you could have. You go into a body and you have no reference. What does that mean? Well, it means you have nothing to compare it to. Zero. Okay? Now, of course, you've had several lifetimes, so you have had experiences over and over again, many different ways, that you could reference to assist you in this life, but it's not there. It's covered up. So we learn, in order to find out, to have this life is designed once and for all by you. This life you designed for you. Now, it does not mean that you're completely clear on every single thing, because you're not. You have amnesia in certain areas. You don't remember. So you do what you can do. You bump into ego mind. You're not aware. Most of us aren't aware that the ego mind controls us every waking moment. It controls us all the time. And then we get to the point where we start discovering that. So then we say, I'm going to master it. I'll master it. It's looking for peace. But it looks for peace outside of itself because of the fact it doesn't believe that it is part of the God. And I will lead it. I'll guide it to peace through my heart mind. And this is how you end up mastering the ego mind. And then what happens when you lose the ego mind? You don't have fear. Imagine that. No fear. You don't have worry. You don't stress. You don't fret. You don't do any of that stuff. Why? Because you know who and what you are. You're pure consciousness. You're the God. You're all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. You're a master manifester. You manifest anything you want. Doesn't that make sense that you when you want something, you get it, right? And it's not selfishness, and it's not greed or anything. It's just something that you desire, something you want. You want to experience it, you manifest it, and you experience it. That's it. It's not complicated. And we're outfitted with that. Every single one of us. And look at this life, right, for eons and eons. People, we call it climbing the ladder of life, right? In other words, we've been trained to believe that you have to be, in order to be successful, you got to climb the ladder of success. Each rung you climb. And then, some of us, on occasion, discover what? We are the ladder. We don't climb the ladder, we are the ladder. We're already successful. We're already learned. We're already vast awareness, creation, manifestation. We're already all of that. Isn't that amazing? And this is the illusion of the civilization, that the ladder is separate from us, when all along we are the ladder. So we're there. We've already been there. We're always there. It's just that we don't recognize it. And through the illusion of separation, we believe that we're separate. But when you discover that you are the ladder and you no longer need to climb the ladder, then you begin to manifest the things that you desire and want. You are the life. It isn't you, you're the life. You create the life. You get a big piece of white canvas, right? And you begin to create whatever it is you want to create on that canvas. You're the you've heard me say it, you're the orchestrator, you're the creator, you're the choreographer, you're everything. You're the chief cook and bottle washer. You can do it all. You have the power to do it all. You throw in things in your life that you aren't aware that you've thrown in, to what? Spice it up. Join you in meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through your nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath, rising and falling. Embrace life's ending. All things naturally come to an end, and all endings are simply new beginnings. These endings are super useful because they make room for what's fresh and new. The good news is that your wonderful soul and divine spiritual essence is the only thing in this universe that never, ever dies. Keep your attention always in exploration of that. This is the great secret to set your mind free from all potential chaos and suffering. The truth shall always set you free. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. And we will return here Sunday, June 15, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on out there or within you, open your heart and allow the magic to flow in